Where I go is none of your business, Gerald. My name is Gerald Cooper. I'm 57 years old, and those 8 words ended my 20-year marriage before my wife even walked out the door. I'm standing in our bedroom doorway watching Diane apply makeup she's been working on for 45 minutes. The kind of careful, deliberate application she hasn't done for me in over 3 years. The dress is new, black, fitted, expensive. I've never seen it before, and I handle our credit card statements every month. Date night? I ask, keeping my voice casual, almost bored. She doesn't even turn around. I said it's none of your business. Her hand trembles as she fastens diamond earrings, the ones she told me 4 months ago that she'd lost at the gym. I remember that conversation clearly because she cried about it, said they were from her grandmother. I almost bought her replacements. Almost. I notice everything now, the new perfume that smells nothing like the vanilla scent she's worn for 15 years. The way she angles her body away from me, protective, secretive. The phone that never leaves her sight anymore. Always face down, always on silent. This is the 3rd Thursday in a row. The first Thursday I said nothing. Watched her leave at 7:30, return at midnight smelling like wine and cologne that wasn't mine. The second Thursday, I asked where she was going. She laughed, actually laughed, and said, "Yoga class with the girls." I almost believed her until I drove past the yoga studio later and saw it was closed for renovations. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I already know who it is before I check. Unknown number. The text is simple. She just left. Should I follow? I type one word back. Yes. Diane glances at my reflection in her vanity mirror. For a moment, our eyes meet. She looks cold, distant, like she's already mentally left this house, this marriage, this life we built. There's something else too, disappointment. Like she expected me to fight, to rage, to give her the drama that would justify whatever she's about to do. Instead, I just nod and walk back to my laptop in the living room. She pauses, lipstick in hand. I can feel her watching me leave. Then I hear the click of the tube closing, the rustle of her grabbing her purse, the sharp clicks of heels on hardwood. The front door opens, closes. Her car starts in the driveway. I open my laptop and pull up the contract I signed 2 weeks ago. Rodriguez Investigations. Keith Rodriguez, licensed PI. 2 weeks ago was the first Thursday. Before I continue, let me tell you how this all started. I met Diane 22 years ago at First National Bank, where I was applying for a business loan to expand Cooper Electric. I was 35, just starting my electrical contracting company, driving a beat-up Ford pickup and wearing my only decent shirt. She was 32, working as a loan officer, and when she smiled at me across that desk, I forgot how to breathe. We married 18 months later. Not too fast, not too slow. My lawyer, Lance Mitchell, insisted on a prenuptial agreement. "Gerald, you're sitting on assets she doesn't know about. Protect yourself." I was embarrassed to tell him the truth, that I had money Diane knew nothing about because I was terrified she'd see me differently if she knew. My father had left me $120,000 when I was 28 after he died in a factory accident. I turned it into $950,000 through careful investments and real estate purchases while working 70-hour weeks building my business. But I lived like I made $45,000 a year because I'd watched my buddy Anthony Torres lose everything in a divorce when I was 35. I watched him cry in a studio apartment while his ex-wife took the house, the cars, half his plumbing business. So I drove my 2003 Ford pickup, shopped at Home Depot, worked my 6-day weeks, and when Lance drew up the prenup, I made him include one specific clause. In the event of infidelity proven by photographic evidence, the unfaithful party forfeits everything. Diane signed it in Lance's office, barely reading it. "This is insulting, Gerald. You don't even have that much money." She skimmed the pages, annoyed, impatient, signed with a flourish. "Happy now?" I nodded quietly. I didn't tell her about Section 7. I didn't tell her about the $950,000 sitting in accounts she'd never seen statements for. Now, sitting in my living room, I pull up my banking app. Our joint account shows $45,380. Money from both our salaries over 20 years. My private account, the one with my real money, shows $952,743. The number has grown. Good investments. Patient investments. My phone rings. Keith Rodriguez. "You're going to want to see this tonight," he says. His voice is flat, professional. "Don't wait until morning." "Where are you?" "Downtown Marriott. You know it?" I know it. 4-star hotel, $280 a night minimum. Diane and I stayed there once 5 years ago for our anniversary. She complained the entire time that the room was too small. I'll be there in 20 minutes, I tell him. Keith's silver Tahoe is parked across the street from the hotel, engine running, windows tinted dark enough that I can barely see his silhouette until I open the passenger door. He's 51, former cop, the kind of man who notices everything and says little. He hands me a tablet before I even sit down. She met him at Romano's first, he says, that Italian place on 5th Street. Got there at 7:45. He was already waiting. I look at the first photo. Diane in that black dress walking into the restaurant smiling. Not the polite smile she gives grocery store clerks or neighbors. The real one. The one that used to be mine. Champagne, Keith continues, swiping to the next image. Shared appetizers. He fed her one. The photo shows exactly that. Brad Sullivan holding a fork to Diane's mouth. Her eyes are closed. Intimate. Familiar. This isn't their first time. They stayed 90 minutes, Keith says. Talked, laughed. She touched his hand a lot, leaned in close. I swipe through more photos. Diane throwing her head back, laughing at something he said. I haven't seen her laugh like that in over 2 years, maybe longer. When did we stop laughing? When did I become invisible to her? Then they came here. Keith points through the windshield at the hotel entrance. 10:52 p.m. I see the timestamp on the photo. There they are entering the lobby. His hand is on her lower back, proprietary, confident. She leans into him. They don't look around, don't act guilty. They look like a couple. My chest tightens, but my hands stay steady. I've known for 2 weeks this was happening, suspected for longer. This isn't shock, it's confirmation. The man, I say quietly. Do you have his name? Keith nods, pulls out a small notepad. Brad Sullivan, 49, divorced 3 years ago, 2 kids both in college, works at Sullivan Development, owns it actually, makes about $180,000 a year. Sullivan Development. The name hits me like cold water. That's the company that bid against me on the new medical center project last month. Yeah, small world, Keith says, reading my expression. Your wife's been sleeping with your competition. I zoom in on one photo. Diane and Brad in the hotel bar, holding hands across a small table. The timestamp says 10:47 p.m., 5 minutes before they went upstairs. I close my eyes. When I open them, Keith is watching me carefully. You okay? Send me everything, I tell him. Every photo, every timestamp, every location. I need it by 6 a.m. tomorrow. You got it. He hesitates. What are you going to do? I hand him back the tablet and open the car door. Something I should have done a long time ago. Friday morning, 5:30 a.m. I'm standing in our garage with Anthony Torres, my best friend for 25 years and the only person I've told about any of this. He owns Torres Plumbing, and right now he's installing new deadbolts on every door of my house. You sure about this, man? Anthony asks, testing the front door lock with a new key. I hand him an envelope with $1,000 cash. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Anthony pockets the money and moves to the back door. I head upstairs to our bedroom, my bedroom now, I suppose, and pull Diane's expensive luggage set from the closet. The honeymoon suitcases. We took them to Hawaii 20 years ago, right after the wedding. That was the trip where things were perfect. Before kids, before stress, before she started complaining that I worked too much. I pack methodically. Her dresses, including the new black one. Her shoes arranged by type. Her makeup, her jewelry, her expensive skincare products she orders online. As I'm clearing out her nightstand drawer, my hand hits something hard wedged behind her charging cables. A burner phone. Cheap Android, no case. I power it on. 34 text messages from a contact labeled simply B. I don't read them all. I don't need to. The first one says enough. Can't wait to see you Thursday. Meet at our usual spot downtown. Our usual spot downtown. I turn off the phone and pack it with her things. Next, I open my banking app. Our joint account, $45,380. I transfer $45,375 to my private account, leaving exactly $5. Then I do something else, something that will make sense later. I screenshot every transaction from the past 6 months. Every dinner she said was work networking. Every shopping trip that seemed excessive. Every mysterious charge I never questioned. Anthony finishes the last lock. She's going to lose it when she gets home. I check my watch. 6:47 a.m. She won't be home until after 9. I'll be gone by then. I load my essentials into my truck. Laptop, important documents, clothes for a week. I'm staying at Anthony's guest room above his shop. By 7:15, I'm pulling out of the driveway. I leave Diane's 3 suitcases lined up on the front porch like soldiers waiting for orders. In the largest suitcase pocket, I tape a white envelope. Inside is a single photo. Diane and Brad entering the hotel, timestamp visible, his hand on her back. No note, no explanation. Just evidence. 9:56 p.m. I'm at Anthony's shop, sitting in his office with my laptop open, watching our home security camera feed on my phone. I installed cameras 8 months ago after we had tools stolen from my work truck. Diane knows about the doorbell camera. She doesn't know about the ones covering the porch and driveway. An Uber pulls up. Diane steps out, still in that black dress, phone in hand, texting. She's smiling, humming. I can't hear it, but I can see it in the way she moves, loose and happy in a way she hasn't been around me in years. She reaches the front door, reaches for her keys, slides the key into the lock. It doesn't turn. I watch her face change. Confusion first. She tries again, jiggles the key, pushes harder. Then she steps back and really looks at the door. That's when she sees them. 3 suitcases. She stumbles backward like she's been pushed, grabs the porch railing. Then she sees the envelope. Anthony is across from me eating Chinese takeout, pretending not to watch. "You really did it," he says quietly. On my phone screen, Diane rips open the envelope. Even in the grainy night vision feed, I can see her knees buckle. She grabs her phone. My phone rings on the desk beside me. Diane calling. I let it ring, rings twice, goes to voicemail, the one I recorded this afternoon. "You've reached Gerald. I'm unavailable. Permanently." I chose that word carefully. Permanently. She tries the door again, pounding now. No sound on the feed, but I can imagine it. Gerald, open this door." And she's screaming at a house I'm not in, at a man who's already 3 steps ahead of wherever she thinks this is going. She tries calling again. Voicemail. Then she does something that almost makes me laugh. She tries her key one more time, as if the lock will magically work on the 4th attempt. As if she can force reality to bend back to what it was this morning. It doesn't work. She sits down on the porch steps, head in her hands. Her phone glows in the darkness as she starts making more calls. "You okay?" Anthony asks. I close the laptop. "Ask me in a week." Diane calls her sister Ashley first. I know because I called Ashley this afternoon at 2 p.m., sent her 3 photos, and explained everything. Ashley cried on the phone, not for Diane, but for me. "I had no idea, Gerald. I'm so sorry. I thought you two were happy." On my security feed, Diane is talking, animated, desperate. I imagine the conversation. Ashley saying she can't talk right now, the kids are sick. There are no sick kids. Ashley hasn't spoken to Diane in 2 days, not since I sent her the evidence. Next call, her parents, Gary and Rose Peterson. I sent them the photos too, along with a simple message. "Thought you should know what your daughter's been doing." Gary responded with, "Dear Lord, Gerald, I'm so sorry. Do you need anything?" On the feed, Diane's call lasts maybe 30 seconds. Her mother's phone is about to die. Another lie. Another door closed. Then Diane makes a call that surprises me. A number she dials carefully, like she's memorized it. Brad. What Diane doesn't know is that Brad's ex-wife Jennifer found out about their affair yesterday morning. I didn't tell her. Keith did, as part of the service I paid for. Keith showed up at Brad's house at 7 a.m. while Brad was at the gym. He handed Jennifer an envelope identical to the one I left for Diane. "I thought you should know," he told her. "I'm sorry." Jennifer has been answering Brad's phone since yesterday morning. On my screen, Diane freezes mid-conversation. Then her whole body goes rigid. She's not talking anymore. She's listening. I imagine Jennifer's voice, cold. "Who is this?" Diane stammering some excuse. Jennifer cutting her off. "This is Brad's ex-wife, and I know exactly who you are." The line goes dead. I can see it in the way Diane stares at her phone, face pale, even in the night vision's green glow. She opens her banking app. I know, because I'm logged into the same account on my laptop. I watch our joint balance refresh. $5. She enters her password wrong twice. Her hands must be shaking. Finally logs in, stares at the screen. My phone buzzes. Text from unknown number. Marriott has availability, except you can't afford it. I didn't send that. Anthony grins at me. Couldn't help myself. On screen, Diane reads the text, looks up at the house, looks back at her phone. She's putting it together now. The locks, the money, the photos. This wasn't impulse, this was planned. She stands up, grabs one suitcase, and starts walking toward the street. The Holiday Inn Express on Route 23 is the kind of place that smells like chlorine and continental breakfast. Diane pulls up in an Uber at 10:52 p.m. The front desk clerk is a young woman, maybe 24, working the night shift and barely paying attention until Diane slides her visa across the counter. Declined. I removed her as an authorized user on all our credit cards this afternoon. Called the companies, explained we were separating, needed accounts split. It took 52 minutes and 4 different customer service representatives, but it's done. She tries her MasterCard. Declined. Her emergency credit card, the one she uses for emergencies. Declined. The clerk's sympathetic smile fades. Ma'am, do you have another form of payment? Through the window, I can see Diane's face crumble. She's realizing that the money she thought was always there, the safety net she took for granted for 20 years, is gone. The Uber drops her at her parents' house at 11:41 p.m. Gary and Rose Peterson live in the same house Diane grew up in, a 3-bedroom ranch in the suburbs with a carport and a lawn Gary obsesses over every weekend. I've had dinner there maybe 200 times over 20 years. Rose always asks about grandkids. Gary always talks about the Buckeyes. I called them this afternoon too. Not to gloat, not to explain, just to warn them. Mr. Peterson, this is Gerald. I wanted you to hear this from me first. Diane and I are separating. She'll probably come to you tonight. I thought you should be prepared. Gary was quiet for a long time. What happened, son? I've never heard him call me son before. It made my throat tight. She had an affair, sir. I have proof. I'm filing for divorce. Another long silence. I see. Thank you for telling us, Gerald. Now Diane is standing at their front door at 11:41 p.m., makeup destroyed, still in her cocktail dress, dragging a suitcase. Rose opens the door in a bathrobe, face creased with sleep. Diane, what on earth? Diane collapses, full sobbing breakdown. Gerald locked me out, took all the money. I don't have anywhere to go. Gary appears behind Rose, arms crossed. His voice is cold in a way I've never heard it. What did you do, Diane? She can't answer through the crying. Day 2, Diane calls me 18 times. Every call goes straight to voicemail. Day 3, she emails. Gerald, please, we can talk about this. I made a mistake. Please, just talk to me. I don't respond. My email auto-reply says, I'm currently unavailable and will respond to priority messages only. Day 4, she drives to my office building downtown, parks in the visitor lot, and tries to go up to the 8th floor where Cooper Electric has its offices. Security stops her at the lobby. I'm sorry, ma'am. Mr. Cooper has requested that you be denied access to this floor. I made that call on Friday, sent security her photo. My wife and I are separating. She's not to be allowed up under any circumstances. The guard, a retired cop named Vernon, nodded grimly. Understood, sir. We see this a lot. Sorry you're going through it. Diane waits in the parking lot for 4 hours. I watch her from my office window. At 2 p.m., she finally leaves. She never saw me because I was watching from behind blinds. Day 5. A FedEx truck pulls up at her parents' house. Diane signs for a large manila envelope, her hands trembling so badly she can barely write her name. The envelope is heavy, official. Law Offices of Mitchell & Associates printed in the corner. Lance Mitchell, my lawyer. Inside, divorce papers filed 4 days ago, the day after I locked her out. Grounds, adultery. She reads that word 3 times. Adultery. It looks so ugly in legal print. Attached with a paperclip, the prenuptial agreement she signed 20 years ago in Lance's office, barely reading it, annoyed that I insisted on it at all. She'd skimmed it, thought it was standard asset protection stuff. You don't even have that much money, she'd told me. Section 7 is highlighted in yellow. Someone, probably Lance, made sure she'd see it. In the event of infidelity by either party proven by photographic, video, or documented evidence, the unfaithful party forfeits all claims to marital assets, spousal support, alimony, and jointly acquired property. She signed this. Her signature is right there at the bottom, next to mine. Beneath the prenup, photographs. Dozens of them. Her and Brad at Romano's, laughing over champagne. Entering the Marriott, his hand on her back, kissing in his car. Every single one has a date, time, and location stamped in the corner. The last item in the envelope is different. It's not about the affair, it's a bank statement. My personal account, not the joint account we used for groceries and utilities. A private account Diane never knew existed. Balance? $952,743. Diane's world tilts. The papers slip from her hands. 950,000? Her voice doesn't sound like her own. Rose grabs the paper, stares. Gary comes into the kitchen, takes it from his wife's hands. His face goes red, then white. He was almost a millionaire, and you... He can't finish the sentence. I didn't know, Diane whispers. He drove that old truck. We shopped at Walmart. Because he was smart, Gary says. His voice is shaking. And you threw away a smart, loyal, wealthy man for what? For some developer scumbag? At the bottom of the envelope, a handwritten note on my personal stationery. You asked where you went. Now you know where you'll stay. Nowhere that's mine. G. Over the next few weeks, Diane's world completely collapses. Brad's development company goes under when his ex-wife Jennifer takes him for everything in their divorce. She gets the business, the house, the cars, everything. His reputation in Columbus construction circles is destroyed. Nobody wants to work with a man who can't keep his word to his own wife. Diane tries to find work, but she hasn't had a real job in 15 years. The bank where she used to work has been bought out by a larger company. Her skills are outdated. She ends up working part-time at a discount retailer, making $12 an hour. The house I built our life in goes up for sale. I price it fairly, sell it in 3 weeks. After paying off the small remaining mortgage, I clear $340,000. Diane gets nothing. The prenup is ironclad. Our kids, Sarah and Timothy, struggle with the divorce. Sarah, 19 and away at college, calls me crying one night. Dad, I don't understand what Mom was thinking. You're the best man I know. Timothy, 17 and still living with his grandparents, is angrier, confused. But eventually he comes around too. Kids aren't stupid. They see who was providing, who was faithful, who was building a future. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my new house. Not a mansion, just a nice ranch on 5 acres outside Columbus with a 3-car garage for my restored Camaro and my work trucks. The kind of place I always wanted but denied myself because I was playing poor for someone who would have left me for being poor. My business is doing better than ever. Word got around about what happened, and surprisingly, most people in the construction community respected how I handled it. Gerald Cooper doesn't mess around, guys say at the supply house. Solid businessman, solid man. That reputation translates to more contracts, bigger projects, better clients. Cooper Electric now has 12 employees. I bought the building next door and expanded our shop. The medical center project that Brad Sullivan bid against me, we got it. His company folded before they could even submit their final proposal. My phone buzzes. LinkedIn message. I almost ignore it, but the name catches my eye. Diane Peterson. Back to her maiden name. I heard you're engaged. Congratulations. I hope she makes you happy. I don't respond. Instead, I look across the room where Carmen Valdez is reading, coffee in hand. Carmen's 48, a nurse practitioner I met at Sarah's college graduation. She's divorced too, knows what betrayal feels like. I told her everything on our 3rd date, showed her the divorce papers, the photos, all of it. I need you to know what happened, I said. I need you to know who I really am. She'd looked at me for a long time, then said, You're someone who protected himself and didn't apologize for it. That's exactly who I want. We're getting married in October. Small ceremony, just family and close friends. Anthony is my best man. Carmen's daughter, Sophia, gets along great with Sarah and Timothy. It's the kind of blended family that works because it's built on honesty from the start. Carmen knows about my money, all of it. She has her own career, her own savings, her own independence. She doesn't need me for security. She wants me for me. That's the difference between love and convenience. It took me 57 years to learn it. Lance calls with the final update. Diane's attorney tried one more time to contest the prenup. Judge threw it out, said the agreement was ironclad and she signed it willingly with legal representation present. It's over officially. I look out at my property, my workshop, my life that's finally mine. Diane moved to Florida 3 months ago, got a job at a hotel chain doing bookkeeping. She blocked me on all platforms, which is fine by me. Some people prefer to live in the past. I'm focused on the future. Sarah calls me every Sunday now. She's doing well in school, majoring in business. I want to understand money like you do, Dad, she tells me. I never want to be dependent on anyone like Mom was. Timothy splits his time between his grandparents and my house. He's coming around, slowly. 17 is a tough age to watch your mother destroy everything your father built, but he's a smart kid. He sees the contrast between the chaos Diane created and the peace I've built. On my desk, a framed photo. Me and Anthony at my new house closing last month. Behind us, my new front door with shiny new locks. I had a caption printed beneath it. Always know your worth. Never let someone else define it. The other day, I ran into Brad Sullivan at a gas station. He looked terrible. Stressed, aged 10 years in 6 months. He started to say something, maybe an apology or an excuse, but I just looked at him and walked away. Some people aren't worth the breath it takes to speak to them. My neighbor Jerry stopped by yesterday. He's 62, retired from the phone company, good guy. We were talking about marriage, life, the usual stuff guys our age talk about. You know what I admire about how you handled that whole mess? He said. You didn't get emotional. You didn't do anything stupid. You just methodically took care of business. That's the thing about being 57. You've seen enough of life to know that actions have consequences, that preparation beats luck, that emotion makes you stupid. The young version of me would have confronted Diane, would have made a scene, would have done something that would have hurt my case in court. The older version planned, gathered evidence, protected assets, let the system work. Carmen looks up from her book, smiles. Ready for dinner? I close my laptop. Yeah, I'm ready. We sit down at my kitchen table, our kitchen table now, and I think about how different this feels from those last months with Diane. The conversation flows naturally. Carmen tells me about her day at the clinic. I tell her about the new commercial job we landed. We laugh about Sophia's latest teenage drama. It's easy, comfortable, real. Some doors, once closed, stay locked forever. And sometimes that's exactly how it should be. After dinner, as I'm cleaning up dishes, I realize something that took me 57 years to understand. A woman who respects your boundaries respects you. A woman who tries to tear them down never loved you in the first place. The best investment I ever made wasn't in stocks or real estate. It was in learning to protect myself. Because a man who doesn't value his own worth will never find someone who values it either.